program is brought to you by Strategies for Wealth Management.
Welcome to Smart Retirement, brought to you by Strategies for Wealth Management. My name is Laura Lehrhaupt, and I'm joined with my husband, Michael Lehrhaupt. Hello. And today we are going to continue this important conversation. We're going to start off by talking about the new retirement vision. So we talked a little bit about the new retirement a few episodes ago.
Right.
Now we want to talk about really like making concrete choices about what it is we want to do.
Right, well, we talked about the new retirement on the one of the last episodes.
Yes.
Now we're talking about your retirement vision.
Okay.
Like everybody needs a plan of where they're going and how they want to get there.
Yes.
You know, if you get in a car and you want to go from here to there, you need to know where you're going. You need to know what roads to take. You need to obviously know the car you're going to be driving.
I was going to say I need Google Maps, but that's different.
well, you know, again, you know, new retirement, right, or retirement vision, there are a lot of new technologies to help.
That's the good news.
Amazing.
Yes.
We talked about that in one of the last episodes.
Yeah.
But, you know, we really want to talk about planning right now and your vision. Look, you know, I've been in this business personally. You've been in a long time too, but like we've been married for 33 years.
Yes.
Like we have our own retirement vision.
Yeah,
and we love sharing that with people.
Yeah.
Technically for us, retirement isn't retirement. We're in a business where we can actually work more or less based on how we want, right? But the point is, I've been doing this for close to 35 years now.
Yeah.
Met thousands of people, heard thousands of stories. I see patterns, I see what works, I see what doesn't work. But when someone comes in with a clear vision, their basically goals and their programs and their platforms and everything they want is very clear because of the vision. So we can actually do planning based on a vision. So we're going to talk about the stress and importance of having a clear vision in retirement.
Yeah, and this is a hot topic because a lot of people don't have a plan. And they're plan averse. And I'm going to raise my hand and say I was plan averse years ago. You're a big planner.
I am.
And that's a fabulous thing. I'm glad that you offset my aversion back in the day. I have since turned over a new leaf, and I'm a little bit more open to being a better planner, because when you plan and you know why, then you're more motivated to have the what. Like, what is it going to need? What am I going to need to get me there, right? The why is really important, though.
Well, the why is really important. You know, a lot of us sometimes focus on the present. We focus on today, or we focus on the past. But what we want to do right now is have you focus on the future. And maybe you grab a cup of coffee, a glass of wine, put on some really great music, a cup of tea, and you write out your vision statement or the visions you want. But the why really we talk about is, look, oftentimes in financial planning, we're so focused on the planning of the money. And you know, when it comes to retirement planning, it's called your retirement income. Hey, how much income do you need? How much income do you want in retirement? You know, where are you going to use the income? But here, that's the reason why. Why have income in retirement? Why have steady, guaranteed lifetime income? Why even plan for income? And the reason why is the income, but it's the vision, right? Do you want to go traveling? Do you want to we have a saying, every day is
Saturday in retirement. And I think
so let's talk about what that means.
Well, usually Saturday is the day where most people spend the most money, right? You go to the movies, you go to the mall, you visit your grandchildren, you visit friends, you go out for dinner, you're spending a lot of money. Well, people don't realize in retirement, you've got that. A lot of retirement. Not everybody does this, but if you're not doing another profession, or you haven't, taken on some other kind of challenge, and you're really just hanging out and doing all those fun things, it's Saturday every day.
But it takes money to have a successful retirement.
Yes.
So the income planning of retirement is hugely important. But the reason why is to do all the things you want to do. So my suggestion is when we have actually a worksheet that someone can use. We're going to put it on the screen.
Yes.
And there's a worksheet to help you. If you want access to this worksheet, we're going to put a QR code up. That's the little things you scan with your phone, and it'll take you to the sheet, and you can download the sheet, or you can do your own, whatever you want.
Yes.
It's just there to help you. But here's the thing. I would say when you sit down, let it all go.
Yeah.
Put down things you've always dreamed about doing. You have one life to live, and in retirement, you have the opportunity now to do whatever you dreamed about doing. And I'll give you some suggestions. one of our clients said, my goal is to visit every baseball stadium in the United States. In fact, we were at a New York, I'm a New York Mets fan, so please don't be mad at me if you're watching TV, right? Because I know we're in New England. But with that said, we were at a New York Mets game, and there was a couple behind us, and literally that was their last stop on every single tour of the baseball stadiums in the United States of America. We have another one who swam the English Channel.
I just had another couple the other day came to one of our workshops. Their goal is to see like every heavy metal band live all over the country. I asked him if he had like something for his ears. He said he has enough wax built up. He doesn't need anything for his ears. But that's besides the point. I think it's important to definitely identify what it is you want to do. We call that, we have a name. It's called your desirement in retirement. What do you desire? And it could be anything from like the sheet that we had up on the screen. Travel. What do you want to save for? Books you might want to read. Sports you want to try. I mean, pickleball is the usual thing.
Huge. But be specific. Like that people want to visit the rock bands, right? Okay, that's very specific.
It is.
But now how are we going to afford to do it?
Yeah.
That's where the income planning comes into play.
Yeah, because you got to get on a plane, you got to get hotel, and then the tickets to concerts are a fortune. So they've set themselves up to be able to do that and follow their desirement. And this is what they want to do. And everybody's different. There's no wrong. There's no right. The only thing is you got to take action, because without action, you're not going to have it. And, you know, I used to be, my aversion to planning involved, I want to live in the present. I don't want to think about the future too much. But truly, if I'm being transparent, it was more about fear. Like I had to take a moment to think about what I really wanted. And that could be a little scary. Like, I don't really know what I want, you know? And then when I really sat down and thought about it, and you taught me some of these things that you can write down in black and white and see it in front of you, or even on your computer nowadays, it really does make it easier to have a goal. And now, what do I need to get there?
Definitely.
And,
as a certified financial planner, a certified financial advisor, right?
Yeah.
As a certified financial advisor, a financial fiduciary, sorry. As a certified financial fiduciary, creating an income plan for someone is actually the easy part, because I know the financial products to use.
Yes.
But the harder part on that is having someone create their retirement vision, because I can't do it for them. You can't do it for them. Our team of advisors can't do it for them.
Right.
So I call it priming the pump. If you sit down and you start writing different things, other things come to mind, and then you could write a dream list, your desirement list.
I think people also call it a bucket list.
A bucket list.
Yeah. And what's really great is this is not like a static thing that cannot change. This is something you might want to visit. I mean, we do our vision boards every January, and we do what we want to accomplish in the year. There's absolutely no reason why you can't redo your vision, your retirement vision, yearly.
But you just gave me a great idea.
Will I do that?
33 years of marriage, I got a lot
give
of
some
good
great
ideas.
ideas.
I have a great idea for our clients, like doing, what if we did a client event of a vision board client event?
That's a fun thing.
Retirement vision board.
Yeah, or the viewers can get a bunch of friends together and just we use magazines, old magazines, recycling magazines, and you can just put it on the table and make your retirement vision out of a vision board. I mean, I love that. That's I'm a crafty person. Maybe you're not crafty. Whatever it takes, whatever motivates you to get it done. The important part is you have to get it done, or we can't move on to the next part, which is the financial planning part.
It's
of
unreasonable to think someone's going to work 25, 30 years of life, not have any hobbies, not have any other things they want to do. Also, one day retire and say, now what? You got to start before your retirement for your vision.
That's funny, because our friend Joe is retiring. He has a retirement day countdown.
He has a countdown.
On his phone. I think he's at like 70-something, 60-something now. And I said, what are you going to do? And he said, nothing. So we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, definitely. Again, we have some tools and resources to help on our website. Particularly this retirement vision. What do we call it? The worksheet.
It's just it's a worksheet, goal setting worksheet.
If that can help you, click the QR code, scan it, and it'll take you to the worksheet. You can download it, no problem. Or if you want to do your own, do your own. But either way, I think have a written plan. And by the way, look at the written plan often.
Yeah, it is good to have it in front of you. We have our vision boards up in front of us all the time. It is good to keep an eye on what you want to have, because it's right in front of your face. It's almost like when you want to have a goal in terms of how you look physically, you put it on the refrigerator.
Exactly.
All right, now this is an important part of the retirement vision. Retirement surprises, like surprises, not the good kind. I'm not talking about the good kind. I'm talking about unfortunate surprises that come up in retirement, and we've got a few.
Oftentimes when I'm in front of a live audience, I say, how many of you like surprises? And I see the audience's faces. Some of them are like, should I raise my hand? Should I not? Hesitant, some do. And I go, we all like the good ones, right? Not the bad ones.
Yes.
Look, what we're talking about is surprises and retirements, the bad ones, the things that can really derail your retirement vision, right? Because if we have the vision and we have the plan for the vision, now we have to actually have, okay, what can screw up the plan?
Yeah.
What things can happen to mess up our plan?
Knock us off course. Put a hurdle in our way. Put a boundary up.
Right.
Because you encounter things, right?
Definitely.
You make all these plans, and then, I mean, I love that story. The marathon runner, they did that marathon. He ran this huge marathon, and he had to plan for all the different weather-related. It was like what do you call it when a marathon is multiple things?
Triathlon.
Yes. And I mean, there were rainstorms and flooding and his goal was to finish, but you have to incorporate in the plan those type of hurdles that'll get in your way. And we're going to identify them. That is a big thing. Can you identify them?
But one point to that is, yes, he planned for things, but as you watch a story, I think it was called an Iron Cowboy.
Yeah, that was
Iron Cowboy.
Yes.
Great story. You should look it up online.
Yeah.
But one of the things that he planned as much as he can, but there were still things that showed up
always
that he didn't plan for,
Yeah.
and he had to adjust. So plans need to be adjusted. There's different things that happen. There's different things that happen in the world. There are different maybe adjustments that need to be made. Plan. So when you make the plan, make sure we look at it and adjust it.
Yeah, I think
because there are. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
go
you.
for it. Go for it.
No, I was just going to get to the meat and potatoes of this.
Yes.
There are 5. We've identified here at Strategy for Wealth Management. We've identified 5 major issues that can derail your retirement vision.
That we know of, right?
That we know of.
That like most people at some point in their retirement have this come up, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start out with.
Well, what do we call it? The financial wheel of life.
The financial wheel of
Right.
life. It's actually an activity.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, but it's
we have
actually
a little a worksheet here.
a wheel, and we use it as an activity to plot.
Yeah,
We're very much into putting it down on paper
Yes.
because it doesn't really exist unless you actually write it down. A lot of times, like some people are really good at keeping things in their head, and I respect that enormously. For me, if it's not down on paper, it's gone. It's gone. So I have lots of little notes about everything in my office. So the first thing that I'm going to start with the investment risk. I mean, having too much risk in your portfolio is a very big risk in general.
Well, we often talk about risk tolerance. Risk tolerance is how much can you afford to lose, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a portfolio and it goes down 10%, would it bother you? If you got $1 million and you lost $100,000, would it bother you? Because the market can crash pretty quickly like that. Or 20% or 30%. In 2008, the S&P dropped 53%. Right? So please understand, being in line with your risk tolerance and your portfolio's risk tolerance is extremely important, and having a way to measure it is extremely important.
Yeah, so we don't want to be in places where our money is exposed if we need our money, if we're depending on that money to fund some of these amazing desirable goals, right? Definitely not. All right.
Well, we don't want it in the mercy of whether it's going up or down. That's no way to plan a retirement.
No. Okay, next thing, legacy.
How much do you want to leave to loved ones?
Yeah.
Do you want to leave anything to loved ones? You know how many people we meet that go, I took care of my kids, they're good, I'm going to spend it all before I die.
And that's
but if that's
fine.
your plan, let's have a plan for
Let's
it.
get it out there. Make sure that maybe the family knows that, because if you're not leaving stuff to your family, maybe they need to know.
Or maybe you do want to leave money to and there's really great ways, tax-efficient ways to leave money to family if you're clear on what you want to leave.
Yeah, so that's a big thing you have to plan for. All right, this is a very big thing, near and dear to us. I mean, we're gonna go deeper in a little bit about this. Well, why don't we come back to that? Let's talk about taxes, because everybody knows about taxes. They usually go up, and they don't always calculate the tax risk when they're planning financially in retirement, right?
Yeah. There's certain things stable in life, and one is taxes. We know we're gonna have to pay it. I often ask, do you think taxes are gonna go up or down in the future?
Yeah.
And most people answer up, and I'd agree with that answer. It's a logical answer to think.
Yes.
But here's the thing, how are you going to handle it? Do you have a tax efficient way? Or the biggest issue I see in taxes is called the tax torpedo. And what the tax torpedo is we meet so many people who've done such a great job accumulating their wealth, but it's mostly in retirement plans like 401ks, IRAs, 403bs. And so that money was awesome that someone saved up and created their nest egg. That is a great thing to see.
Yeah.
But they have to be aware that if it's all in pre-tax retirement plans, when you take it out, you got to pay taxes.
And a lot of people aren't aware of that. So that's something to calculate for. Another way people deal with taxes in retirement, which is almost like part of the retirement plan, is they leave a certain state, not going to say what state, to go to a state where there's no income tax or taxes are better. That is a way to address some of this tax issue too. When you're right, like, well, you might want to see what tax-friendly states are out there.
I like using numbers, right? So let's put it in context. Say, and I use $1 million. Some of you have more, some of you have less. That's not the point. It's just an easy example to use, right? But you got $1 million. The government owns. If you're in a, let's say, 22% tax bracket, and you're in Connecticut that takes us almost 7% taxes. The government owns a third of that account. How are you planning to pull that money out in a tax efficient way? And there are ways tax efficiently to pull it out. And so that's why I call it tax torpedo. And again, it's a surprise. We had a client once, I want to buy a house in Florida. I need $200,000.
Yeah.
I said, we have to take $300,000 out of your retirement account. He almost fell off the chair.
Yeah.
See, that wasn't a very tax efficient way to handle the money.
Yeah. No. So much for moving to Florida to try to get, now you're going to pay all these taxes, before you get there. Yeah.
So it's important to be aware of taxes and have a plan and know how to either minimize them, so that it doesn't derail your retirement plans.
All right. We also have the income dilemma.
Yes.
Now, this is something where, people rely on Social Security in retirement. It's their way, they think, to have ongoing income, but it's not enough a lot of times.
Social Security, for most people, Social Security accounts for 30 to 40% of their retirement income.
Right.
Look, there are some people who only live on Social Security, but I guarantee they're not living their retirement vision or desirement.
That's
right.
It
takes money to do that.
Yes.
So Social Security is a good starting point, but we need more, and oftentimes it's your other assets, and we have to maximize the income. But the question is, how do we make your income last forever, even though we don't know how long forever is?
Yeah.
And that's the real question.
Yeah. So that's something to be aware of when you're thinking about your retirement plan. That is a very important component of where is that income coming from that you're no longer getting. And maybe it's getting another job that you want to have, you always wanted to do. We've got clients being baristas at Starbucks and welcomers at Walmart and all that kind of stuff, which is fine.
It depends on your financial situation.
If
you have enough leverage of money to work with, then we can, you can create a retirement plan, an income plan. But look, the job is to get to the finish line.
Right.
So you talk about the Iron Cowboy and the triathlon. His job is to get to the finish line, right? Well, in retirement, the finish line means you have more money left at the end of your life than more life left at the end of your money.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you right now, there are financial products and vehicles on the market today that weren't on the market years ago that do a really, really good job to get you to the finish line. And most people don't even know about them. So this is really, really important to find out about certain things that can help you.
Yeah, I think I want to make another point. I mean, while we're talking about this, it's important not to feel you're alone. There are professionals out there to help you, financial professionals. I would definitely encourage getting a financial advisor and somebody that you trust and that's a fiduciary that can help you, because now we're getting into some of the stuff that's a little more overwhelming. So just making people aware this is there, but not expecting they're going to be able to handle that on their own. Making your goals is definitely, your desirement is a thing you need to do.
Right. And again, we actually have this worksheet on that QR code on our site as well.
Yeah, so they can.
So along with what we talked about, your budget and your retirement vision worksheet, this is called the financial wheel of life.
Yeah.
And what we do is we actually have people rate themselves from 0 to 10, how prepared they are for each one of these sections, and then we have them connect the dots. Usually it's not a perfect circle. That's okay if it's not a perfect circle, perfectly fine. But the goal is to kind of progress, not perfection, right? Balance it out, widen it out.
Yep.
And that's an exercise we go through with our clients to help them see their vision and help them plan for their vision.
Yeah, okay. Now, this is the last one, last spoke on the wheel that I think is important. It's unexpected healthcare costs. Look, you just don't know, right? I mean, a lot of it could be genetic, a lot of it could be luck of the draw, who knows? But we've had a lot of both stories. Good stories about people in their 70s swimming the English Channel, like you said, and then other people where really unfortunate they came up and related to their health, and not planning for that could really, really mess you up in a bad way.
Right. The one major area, and we're going to talk about health and retirement,
Yes,
health and wealth, but the one major area that people are not covered for is a term called long-term care. And long-term care can be received in home care, assisted living, adult daycare. A lot of people think nursing homes. No, most people receive care at home before they go into a nursing home. Home is the first place of choice.
Definitely.
But most people with Medicare and Medicare supplements are covered pretty well for doctors and hospitals. But the big gap is what we call long-term care. Think about it this way. If you need help with day-to-day activities of living, eating, walking, dressing, going to the bathroom, and you either physically need help or cognitively need help, you're on your own. Nothing really pays for it. So you either have to pay for it out of your own pocket or rely on family members to be caregivers, or a little combination of both. We've gone through it. Both my grandmothers, we're going through it with your mother right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody watching has been touched somewhat, somehow, by someone in their family who's needed this kind of care. It's a huge statistical risk. They say there's a 1 in 2 chance. If you're 65 or older, 1 in 2 chance of needing this kind of care, and the expense is huge,
outrageous.
Right? So please understand, I think it's really important to have a plan for long-term care. There are some options out there to help you cover it or cover part of it, but talk to your family as well.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So,
it's very important.
But let's expand this subject and talk more about health is wealth.
Yeah.
Right? Regardless of long-term care, how do we stay healthy in retirement?
Staying healthy in retirement is staying wealthy in retirement,
Yes.
is what I want to say. I mean, without it, nothing else really matters. And just so everybody knows, I was in the fitness and wellness industry for 18 years before I started working with my husband here. And it's still a passion I have. I mean, I didn't just let it go.
Right.
But they are interconnected. I always find them to be.
You taught Pilates. You were a health coach.
I was.
You went to a lot of different
herbal school. Yeah, I did. And
so when I'm not feeling well and my stomach hurts, she says, drink this tea, it'll get you better. Everybody in our family goes to Laura when we need something. The kids go to her, her parents go to her.
It's true.
And she says, well, do this and do that, and it helps.
It often helps. and look, you got to do your best to stay healthy, and you got to stay active. You and I started weightlifting like 2 years ago. And you know what? It's changed my life. You inspired me because you've been into it for almost 3 years, I think now.
I know you don't like to say your age, but I don't have a problem saying my age, right? I'm 57. So you may be watching the show and say, he looks younger or older. Okay, I don't know either way. But I'm going to tell you, health is the first priority in my life. And I make a point to exercise almost every day, lift weights. I take different supplements. We're not physicians. We're not trying we're not trying to tell you what to do here. We're just saying, hey, the quality of your retirement is going to dictate your health is going to dictate the quality of your retirement.
And I think it would be remiss of us if we didn't talk about health, because it is part of anybody's desire. I mean, most people want to have a healthy retirement. I don't know anybody who doesn't. Again, writing down goals is extremely helpful. Having some kind of goal to shoot for. I mean, I know my goal, I can announce it to everybody, is 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups by the end of the year. I'm working on it. And it's not about whether I get there. It's just I'm working on it and I'm taking steps. And I think that's important.
This just came to mind too. We talk about physical health, but let's talk about mental health.
So important.
Right? Mental health and physical health go together.
They do.
What are you doing to keep your mental health together? I got to tell you, Laura and I, we'll keep our day jobs, right? But we actually love playing music. Laura's an amazing vocalist. I'm a guitarist, a drummer. I just had a drum lesson yesterday, and it makes my brain think. My left hand, my right hand, my left foot, my right foot.
Totally.
This stuff keeps your mind active.
It does, and that's a good point. I mean, we had a speaker in about brain health, and he was absolutely amazing. And what he pointed out, which is probably not surprising, the best thing you can do for brain health is getting a good night's sleep, which is easier said than done.
It's hard.
I mean, we certainly have our issues with that, So, but we try, and we know the importance of it. And
like
you really
love your Wordle thing. That's a brain thing, right?
Yeah, but he said that just makes you better at Wordle. He really didn't say that's going to make your brain healthier.
Yeah.
I mean, bottom line is getting sunlight in the morning, getting exposed to the sun, and getting a good night's sleep. I mean, it really seemed to be such a big thing.
What's amazing, look, I study a lot of longevity issues.
Yeah.
A lot. I read a lot of all the new stuff. And it's amazing the new things are out there that can increase our longevity. Personally, my opinion, I feel one or two breakthroughs away from increasing a lifespan even longer than we have it now.
Yeah.
I think most people's lifespan on average is about 80 to 84, depending if you're a man or woman. I think one or two medical breakthroughs away to even increase it much, much more. And that's why it's so important to have an income plan that lasts forever, right? Because you don't want to run out of money and you don't know. All of a sudden they create something new and increases longevity for 10 years.
I was just about to say that it's good news, bad news if you haven't planned. You know, like you might want to think, well, what if I have had people say I'm going to live to 100. That's it. I know I'm going to, and I'm planning as such. So I think it's important.
You put down 100 to me right now, I'll take it.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, there's so many innovations that have happened. There's like these smart implants. I mean, you could take you could do a cardiogram on your cell phone. You were telling me.
You could take your cell phone and there's an app and you can put your 2 fingers on it and it can do a echocardiogram for your heart. Now, I don't get me wrong, I don't know how accurate it is, but there's also blood glucose monitors nowadays where you stick it on your arm and it attaches to your phone and you can check your blood glucose every day, every minute if you want to, but you can see how your glucose, your blood sugar reacts to the food you eat and manage your diet a little bit better based on statistics and based on what you're seeing. There are rings you could put on your finger now that measure your sleep and show you how your sleep is. There's some technology out there is just unbelievable. There's stem cell. I mean, the technology out there is just incredible.
So I think when we're planning, we have to plan for the fact that we are all going to live a wonderful, long life. And with amazing new health innovations that can really, because it's not even just living longer. I mean, we want the quality of your life to be better, right? I mean, it's one thing just existing and not having any kind of quality. So these new innovations are designed to give people, I mean, they can do remote surgeries and things.
Now you can do remote doctor's appointments and everything.
That's true.
They could scan there's new scans for body. I mean, do the research. Yeah. It's out there, but it's funny, but not so funny, but in retirement planning, we have some names for this, right? So there's 3 stages in retirement planning about health. There's the go-go years, where you're healthy, you're active, and you're going all. Then there's a slow-go years, where you slow down a little, maybe you're not doing as much. And then there's a no-go years. Here's a goal for everybody. We want more go-go years and less no-go years, right?
Yes.
And the more go-go years we can have, the more we're going to enjoy things.
Absolutely.
And we want to avoid those no-go years as much as we can.
And I think when you and I make our vision boards, I mean, it always has health related things on it, because you and I both know the importance of that to any plan, right? Any plan. Because if you're not living like, it's the Olympics, you're not going to make it, kind of thing. I mean, I'm not suggesting people need to run triathlons, but you certainly need to move and get your body, in the best shape you can get it in order to have that long, wonderful life that we're hoping for.
And I know it's hard, and I know people develop habits, but sometimes, again, it comes back to what we talked about in the beginning of the show, your reasons why. Why do you want a long life? Why do you want to do things? Like, why is it important to take care of yourself? Why? Because you're going to be able to enjoy yourself a lot better and have a more quality of life and be around longer for your family and your grandkids and your kids and everything like that.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to end the show today, is with that wonderful statement that you just said. So we just want to thank everybody for watching the show today. Michael and I take a lot of time to prepare, and we hope we're passing out useful, helpful information to everybody. Again, watch us next time on Smart Retirement, brought to you by Strategies for Wealth Management, for some more really helpful tips on how to retire the best you can. Have a great day. The preceding program was brought to you by Strategies for Wealth Management.
I'm your host, Kurt Barwis. Today, I have a very special guest, Dr. Andrew Lim.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Veterans Corner. My name's Chuck Wooden.
Decision for ourselves for this week, if we want to be made well.
Hi, welcome to the crack of dawn. It's Dawn Lombardi. I'm starting the painting. It's going to be the clips with some water. Love it.
He took me on the sets of Lost in Space, Batman.
Everybody has a story. What's yours? Until next time.
Follow us on Instagram at nutmeg.tv.